kind of random.
Apparently, they dragged me on Twitter. I don't give a because Twitter's not a real place.
Twitter? Oh no, don't be trying to Twitter me, boy.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Hip Hop Twitter. I am your host, Vegas of Hip Hop Now podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the producers over at patreon.com/hiphopnow. The link is in the description. Check it out if you will. With me, as always, y'all know, y'all want more content from him. Boy, here you are. It's the brother Yens. What's good, man?
What's going on, Vegas?
Chilling, man. What the people talking about on Twitter this week?
I'm not a fan of the production or the hook from One Love by Nas.
I'm not a fan. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
I'm not a fan of the production or the hook of One Love by Nas.
Yens, I gotta go to you first on this one, man. What do you think? I'm literally speechless.
I'm right with you. When I first saw that, I was like, man, I've never heard anybody, say anything like this in regard to that song. Reading it, I'm not taking it, like how we often see a hot take and I don't believe it's a hot take. I don't believe it's a hot take. This is probably genuinely the person probably feels this way, but it's really odd to read that, or if somebody even spoke those words. I obviously don't agree with that because I don't see anything wrong with the song, period. Maybe if you want to, kind of crack on the hook, okay, crack on the hook, but the production, I don't know. I was stumped, just like you said.
Yeah, it's true confessions. I wasn't jumping out of my chair when I first heard One Love because of the beat, not what he was doing on the lyrics, but I think that had more to do with how the Source magazine talked up this album and its songs track for track. You know how somebody tell you how, it's the greatest action movie ever, you got to go see it, or this is the funniest movie ever. Right. And if you believe that person, that's how you walk into the theater, or that's how you are when you press play. But sometimes they set your expectations so high that you don't find funny in the movie. Or you like the action is kind of trash. It's almost as if the hype ruined your experience before you got to experience it. So I did feel like the hook left something to be desired because I don't know if this person knows, maybe this is where this is coming from, but Houdini already did it, right? And Q-Tip didn't do anything special with it, with that hook. So it kind of, put it this way. I sort of agree. I mean, I like the song, but I see where this person's coming from because I feel like for what Nas did at that time with those lyrics, with that type of record, which if that type of record had never happened at any point, people don't remember what the other record was that did it first, as far as the kite to, your homies locked up.
Right.
Q-Tip's hook does not fit that record, that type of record, if you ask me.
I think that's spot on. Like I said at the beginning, I can understand if you want to have, if you're gonna have a gripe, it's the hook. I can't stand on a hill and defend the hook. It's just something that I would have never expected anybody to say. Now, awesome song, man. Everything lyrically with the song, classic 5 mic kind of stuff.
Is it shocking? Is it shocking because it's coming from the Holy Grail, Illmatic?
No, I don't think it's not shocking because of that. It's just shocking because when people can say anything about that particular album, that's not a song that most point to.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
most people point to some of the other tracks before I would think that anybody would call out One Love. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I think you're right, because that was one of the standouts or the highlights every time I saw a review about the album. I mean, that's one of the songs that got a release as a single,
Yeah.
right? And a
Right.
video. So what else is happening on Twitter?
No R&B song has been made better by adding a verse from a rapper.
No R&B song is made better by the R&B artist rapping on the record, because that was always a thing I hated in the 90s.
I think, like, if the song is like immediately supposed to be a hip hop R&B collaboration, 9 times out of 10 it works. I think it's when there's already a hot R&B song, and somebody, an A&R or somebody repping the label says, you know what, let's do a remix and put, insert whoever the hottest MC at the time or group. So I think that's where we fall off. And I'll give you an example of something that I didn't believe worked. And it's the song Tell Me, I think it's called, from Groove Theory.
Yeah.
And
There was
they
a
had a
remix for the
remix.
rapper?
Yep. They have a remix with featuring Brand Nubian.
Oh no.
Yeah. And like it kind of it incorporates a little bit of the slow down music from the popular Brand Nubian song. And I don't really dig on that, as far as, like, if we comparing, like the statement says, the song before any MC is involved is great. But because, you got to figure too, at this time, this was really, really prevalent. Everybody was doing this. But I wasn't feeling that at all from them. There's a lot of them that it really worked. So for me, it could go either way. I can't say that statement is like etched in stone, where yes, I can totally agree with it. But I can't totally disagree with it either, because there's, for me, in my opinion, there's examples on both sides where you could say, here's another one that I didn't think was worth anything. You Know What's Up? There's a version with Left Eye. Now, it's up in the air as far as,
right.
Is Left Eye really an MC? But she does rap. So, and that song, before Left Eye was on it, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's dope. But then, you get I don't even know if it's even really called an official remix. It's just an alternate version, I guess, maybe. With Left Eye, it just doesn't do anything it doesn't add anything. So
yeah, I kind of agree with that one, because even though I don't necessarily dislike her verse on there, because when it's on, I know her verse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it wasn't there, it wasn't like I felt like, damn, this need a verse from Left Eye.
Right, exactly.
I can think of one instance for sure where I was like, we did not need that, and it was a remix, D'Angelo's Lady, right? The original was dope.
Right.
They gave it that RZA beat with AZ on it, and I was like, no. Like, who is this for? Like
right.
It was actually made worse with that. But we've, like, to your point, man, we've seen where it works. I guess this is just a remix, but Ray and Ghost on Jodeci joint. That's actually better than the original, to the point where they do not freaking you. Well, I won't say it's better. It's different. Right. But because I'm a big Jodeci fan, it's hard for me to say that. Um, but I do feel like I've heard the remix way more than I hear the original. I have to be listening to the album to hear the original.
Right.
But as far as radio play from back then and all that, it was just something about the way Ray and Ghost was rhyming over that joint. It just worked.
Right.
And it was, I preferred it. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like you said, it's both. It's like certain songs that need rappers. Now here's one thing, Yentz, because we could just take it to this since we discussing. How about songs that are already dope songs that are hits that do remixes to add more rappers? A rap song that's already a hit that adds more rappers. Like, I'll give you two examples. For me, where I'm like, I do not put the remix on. I get heated if I hear the remix. That's Annie Up.
Okay.
And Whoa. I do not want to hear the "Here Come Everybody, y'all." Like, no, I don't get these motherfuckers. Get these motherfuckers over here.
Do you remember? I think there's a Busta got a Touch It remix with 1,000 people on there.
Yeah.
And there was also, I'm thinking it's the Yin Yang Twins, the Whisper song. There was a remix to the Whisper song, and it was a whole bunch of people. Yeah, but I mean, that had become a trend in a way, because I mean, that's just a few joints right that we just came off top with, but there are many, many more. And that's true, man. That's true. There's no reason. It'd be like you did the symphony again and you added another 4 MCs. Why?
Right.
Why would you do
that? Like we just added our friends. Like, yeah, it was okay the way it was. You didn't have to do that. And maybe it just speaks to when done right, is actually good, like Mary J. Blige and Smith and Wesson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Add Smith and Wesson, it's like, oh, I like this version just as much as I like the other version without rappers on it. But yeah, man, interesting stuff, man. I'm glad this week these are hip hop Twitter takes that are interesting to talk about and not complete dumb shit that we're used to.
Right. Hold on, let me give you one more collaboration that I thought was dope. Mm-hmm. By adding the MC to the song, and that's the Candy Rain, So For Real with Heavy D on there. It's like a perfect. It just went perfectly.
Right.
It added to it, but like not to like. It's shooting for the moon kind of thing, but it it's still cool. Like I could go either way with that.
It enhanced it in a lot of ways.
Right. I mean, Heavy D's like that's right up his alley. He's versatile enough, and that was just dope.
And Heavy D was kind of burning down a couple R&B joints, like the joint with Monifa.
Right.
Heavy D's verse is a big part of why I like that record.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then look, with Candy Rain, let's be honest. The song was mostly hook anyway. So
No doubt.
Heavy D was probably like, yeah, people are going to get sick of this song after a while. Let's give them some other shit to listen to. What do y'all think about rappers ruining R&B records with their verses or vice versa? Leave your comments in the comment section wherever you listen to this podcast, but especially if you're listening on Apple, right? So Hip Hop Twitter is now a separate podcast from the Hip Hop Now podcast stream, which means if you are already subscribed to Hip Hop Now podcast, you need to go and look for Hip Hop Twitter and hit that subscribe button. But on Apple Podcasts specifically, you should review this podcast and give it a rating and share it with people enjoy this kind of banter. It's not always going to be happy like this one. This one was a little happy, a little bit happy. I'm kind of upset that it was happy. But nevertheless, good hip hop talk. On behalf of the homie Yintz, I am Vegas. This is Hip Hop Twitter. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, tweet responsibly. I mean, really responsibly, like, because I've seen some stuff that I'm not going to repeat. At least not now. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Drop it on the random.